What's up, everybody? Thralls Metal here once again. I'm Necrotic Nick.
I'm Jammin John.
And we have yet another album review for you. And yet again, this holiday weekend has supplied us with something dark and dismal and dank and murky and something that would naturally make us just want to go over it. So we are going to go over the latest offering from the Ominous Circle, Cloven Tongues of Fire. This also came out on the 28th of November on Osmos Productions. This band formed in 2014 in Portugal. Another one I would say probably formed over a full moon and, a seance of some kind where you remove the heart of maybe something that was human, maybe something that wasn't human. I don't know.
And then over a cauldron filled with oil, and they're boiling the used parts. I don't know what's happening, but it's that.
Like a lot of Christian daycare centers here in the States. It's the same stuff. This is their second album overall. I fell in love with their debut, Appalling Ascension, back when it came out in 2017. I don't remember there being like a big grand rollout or anything for that album, but I kind of just found it on a happenstance. I jammed a couple of tracks, became a fan, jammed it for anyone that would listen, even jammed it for him, even though he kind of forgot I jammed it for him, but I've jammed a lot of things for him. I'll forgive him this time. And for those that don't know, which kind of included him, this is blackened death metal. It's distant, it's dark, and this band could win a look-alike contest with bands like Magua and Awada.
Yeah, apparently I had forgotten that I've heard of this band, although I probably heard the first record. He said he jammed it for me. Who knows, man?
Multiple times.
He has jammed me thousands upon thousands of albums, and that's no joke, so who knows? But I should have heard it because, we're going to get into it, but I should have heard it. This is a me band. In fact, this is so much a me band. This is like all the elements of what I would consider a me band smushed into one dark, stanky, evil, slithering, gross album. Let's talk about what makes this a me band. Dark, deep tremolos, like evil sounding tremolos, like Morbid Angel tremolos. Nasty chugs. This record is packed full of them. Dissonant atonal harmonies. Pretty much if it's stanky, if it's got big fat drum sounds, if the tone of the overall record is earth-shattering, pretty much it's going to be a me band. And that all describes the Ominous Circle. Now, getting into this record, they have a couple of interludes or intros or whatever. The first track, Thus Beckons the Abyss, really isn't much. It's got a droning fade in, it's feedback, it's kind of creepy. There's not a whole lot to it, but I think it does a good job of setting up kind of how evil this record sounds, because you get into Lowest Emanations. Immediately within the first 10 seconds of this song, I went, yep, that's me. I'm sold. Layered, dissonant, low tremolos, a slow, stuttered groove, and the drums, I tell you what, these drums are fat as fuck, and I love them. Sometimes I have complaints with death metal bands where, the snare doesn't sound like it should or whatever. Everything has got a thwack to it, and this drummer is beating the shit out of these drums, but creatively. It's not just some guy blasting. Like, there's a lot going on here.
One of my favorite things about Appalling Ascension was the drum work. Dude drums kind of like the dude from Magua, like he's just smooth, like some of the smoothest blast beats you'll hear. Mm-hmm. And there's always this like fun, catchy groove, really great turnovers, clever accents, but building is kind of how this album runs. Like this is more about drawing out these songs effectively, making them sound even more dark and ominous. Like in comparison to Appalling Ascension, they both kind of capture the same vibe, but this one feels heavier, darker, thicker. The guitars, my God, this tone, like you just hit one chord and it sounds like it just echoes throughout cold, dead space. Honestly, one of the things that I thought of was, if you guys remember episode 2 of Star Wars, the Attack of the Clones, where, Obi is trying to chase down Jango Fett and he fires off those giant bombs that sounded like someone flicking the world's largest doorstop. They sound like that. Those things could shatter meteors. But the drums are huge. And the way the song builds, you feel like you're getting ready for Blast Beat City, the way the guitars are going. They're fast, like static tremolos. They sound deep and dark. They're starting to get more layered, and you get these weird counter harmonies kind of swirling around it. And then the drums hit, and it's this slow, stuttered groove. Like you said, I was like, oh, fuck. All right, we can sink right into this shit. This is good. I wasn't expecting that because I was expecting the rest to kind of sound like this like dense gnat cloud that I was walking into initially. But as the song goes on, the drums get more active. You get these really interesting riffs. And this is the entire album here. This band loves bending, lurching, sliding, slithering, slippery. I don't know, like, there's so many gross ways to describe these riffs, and I feel like if I use them all too much, it's going to sound like this album's like the score to like some Lovecraftian adult novel that never got released. Weirdly though, like, that is kind of the way to describe it, because it feels like a lot of these riffs are parts of this like giant slithering slimy mass where like chords and notes slide past each other, occasionally linking up where they harmonize, but a lot of this is counter harmonies. And you have this wild interplay across the board, like this mix of like just these, again, lurching, bending tremolos and hefty chugs, and these like strange atmospheric like accents that kind of just get peppered in. Sometimes they just sound like static in the background. Sometimes they're a run of quick notes.
And that describes about 95% of the riffs on this album. Like, there's not too much that I would describe so much as like a really nailed down, you know, put together series of chuggy riffs. Like, it's mostly just slithering and slimy and like you can't grasp anything, but they're all down tuned and it's all gnarly. There is one kind of section where I would consider there to be a riff, the opening of Writhing, Upturning, and Succumbing. The beginning of that is actually fairly catchy and probably a closer part to what I would consider an actual like put together riff.
I'd say there are riffs, but again, like, it's that more like apocalyptic riff style. Like, you know, I would say a lot of this is very comparable to like the most atonal moments of Morbid Angel, Dead Congregation, Immolation, Sulphur Aeon, minus like, you know, a lot of the heavy theatrics. The atmosphere is definitely different than Sulphur Aeon, where they kind of go for that more grandiose evil. This is just shades of dark, just dark, and occasionally you see something kind of glint in the corner of your eye, like, I should stay away from whatever that was because it moved and it was clearly slimy. But they have that more like apocalyptic riffing style where it's just, you know, scathing, like it's a wall of fucking notes, but occasionally they sink down to like some heavy machine gun tremolos and such. There's some good galloping, like percussive thrash sections on here. They get into some D beats, and there are breakdowns. And my God, the breakdowns are fucking heavy. Well, there are definitely breakdowns on Lowest Emanations and Through Tunnels Ablaze, which is just a brilliant song in general. I think that has some of the best transitions and like just really clever writing on it. But the song Black Flesh, Sulphur, and All in Between blasts off like you're kind of going fucking fast right away. Deep tremolos that all of a sudden transition to like shimmering kind of dark tremolos. Like, oh, all right. Kind of shift in the mood immediately. And then it sinks on one note to like the heaviest moment on the fucking album. It hits this breakdown groove with these just single lurching notes that I swear is so fucking heavy that I think if any deathcore or fucking down-tempo band heard this riff and this breakdown, they'd say, fuck it, we're done. That's it.
Yep.
Heaviest notes achieved. We got nothing else to prove. Buy our shit, it's like 25% off. You know what, that might actually be kind of a good thing, because at least, you know, these hypothetical deathcore and down-tempo bands wouldn't have to go out by, you know, the inevitable thing, which is admitting someone has allegations. But it's stupid heavy. It is just earth-shattering, like, I swear this band legit wants to bring about the end of the world heavy.
Yeah, I mean, this whole album lives in the seventh circle of hell. Yeah, Black Flesh, Sulphur, and All in Between, I think is the gnarliest, grossest thing on this album. And that's a bold statement because all of this record is gnarly and gross. But goddamn, when they get out of the blast and when it slows down, it is evil as shit. And I probably the darkest thing ever. Like, I know this tablecloth is black. I know my shirt's black, but it's darker than that. I spent 85% of this record just going, ugh. And to be honest, I wasn't so sure my face was going to recover. It's just, ugh. And you can't do anything else other than, ugh.
I mean, this album is just loaded with moments that will make you do that, whether it's the, again, concussive fucking riffs in here, the blasting drums, you know, down to the vocals too. The vocals are fucking deep and fucking ogreish and occasionally cavernous, but there's also some fun atmospheric things they do. You occasionally get some high screams. The high screams on the last track, Utterance of the Formless, honestly kind of sound a little bit like Trevor.
Kind of, but they're tracked over the growls. Like it's a constant just barrage of vocals at you all the time. I like the fact that they sit on top of each other all the time.
There's also the choking, strangling vocals on writhing, upturning, succumbing. That moment was particularly unnerving too, especially since it happened twice on there. And like, it sounds legit like, you know, like you have to choke me for these vocals. Like, you can't just make this noise. Like, no. Choke me.
Put your hands around my throat, you dirty bastard.
That erection is not for you, mister. Seriously. I mean, all right, outside of the whole erection thing. This band, I mean, they kind of remind me of, like, all right, what I have in my head in terms of, like, what I would like Portal to sound like. And we're going to have to circle back to that band because they do share some similarities, not just in, like, fashion sense, but the overall sound. Like, this is infinitely more riffy than at least what Portal has been doing here lately, but it's just as dark. Like, honestly, this still has that same foreboding, occultish, like, it doesn't matter if I play this forwards or backwards, evil shit's gonna happen. It has that vibe, but this draws me in with, you know, riffs as much as it does just the haunting atmosphere. Mm-hmm. You know, whereas like Portal and, you know, stuff that is way more just like ultra dissonant and less about the riffs is memorable in a haunting sense, where you kind of remember the experience. Like, yeah, you remember listening to that album? It's like, yeah, no, I didn't sleep for, you know, a couple of days, but, you know, that's fine. This, you have that quality, but it draws you in with the music as well. Like, these songs are well arranged, they are paced very well, and there's really just hooky moments throughout the entire album.
And some of those hooks actually come in the drum work. Like, it's not just blast beats and D beats. A bunch of really cool tribal moments in songs like Through Tunnels of Blaze, or the last track, Utterance of the Formless, or actually throughout most of this record, the transitions this guy comes up with are really fucking cool. It's always some awesome turnover, or again, a lot of tribal parts. They do drum and bass isolation. The first time it happens is in Through Tunnels of Blaze, and I like that one.
Dude, that's
the bass snarls a whole lot more. I like that time when they do it, but I especially like when they do it in the last track, Utterance of the Formless, because the bass goes from like snarling to just a normal kind of fat bass tone. The drums start off to be tribal and really cool, but then it also comes in with this really kind of neat, I don't know if I want to call it melody, but it's probably one of the more like melodic sections of the record, and just the way everything builds right there is really cool.
I mean, melody's the thing on here. Like, it is. Like, there are melodies in all the twisting, elastic riffs. And again, you have some straightforward harmonies that do show up on here, but then they're, you know, generally paired up with, like, weird atonal, you know, stuff. A lot of crazy guitar interplay. And then you also have solos on here, too, which the solos, I mean, honestly, they're kind of Trey-ish. Like, you have a lot of, like, this weird, intricate shredding, but you have that weird, like, atonal stuff that he did, some bizarre tapping. And generally the solos themselves are, like, blazing fast, but it's the guitar work as a whole, because, you know, it's everything they do that really makes this album. Like, the solos are kind of cool. It feels like probably the more contemporary side of them coming out, because a lot of the riff structure in here, I mean, yeah, you could break it down to like, well, it's just tremolos and chugs. Like, yeah, but it's kind of what they do with it. They manipulate those, like, traditional chugs and tremolos and turn them into something that sounds like a living, breathing creature with tentacles, claws, teeth, you know, all the wonderful things. But again, like I said, it's good about balancing out atmosphere and then just flat out brutality. If you are someone that's just looking for, like, just hefty, chugging, beat down death metal, it's 100% here. But it's also in this dense cloud of horrible atmospheric things that will terrify you. But honestly, it's like seasoning on it. In terms of any negatives on here, I mean, all right, I'm going to complain about the interludes. Yeah, this is the part of that video. They're just kind of there. Like, both Thus Beckons the Abyss, like, it's just feedback drenched, and, you know, you get a rumbling bass in the background, and then off to the races. As soon as it's over, you've already forgotten the track exists. Kind of the same thing with the other one. In Ira Flemme Devorator qui Salvator.
Good job.
I didn't say any of that right. I already hate it because I had to say it. No, but it's just a transitional track with, like, I called them, like, warm-ups for all the creepy tremolos and stuff they're doing. It's a series of, like, you know, counter harmonies and harmonized tremolos and, you know, a couple of little accents here and there and some shifts, and then it's done. It feels like they just took a section out of a song they were working on, and it was like, oh, we can pad out the length another minute and a half here.
Could be.
I don't know. It's not terrible. It's just there, and it doesn't feel like it needs to be because it really doesn't lead into the next track particularly well.
The first interlude track, I think, is kind of unnecessary. I mean, again, I suppose it's a pace setter for the record. I don't mind the In Ira Flamme Devourateur Qui Salvator. I don't know if I said that right either. I don't care. I don't mind that track. It's evil as shit. Like, I mean, yeah, there's not a whole lot to it, but it's another collection of gnarly tremolos, and I'm never gonna bitch about that, so I don't have any issue. So overall, if you haven't guessed, I'm gonna go ahead and give this record 4.5 stars, and believe me, it's bordering on a 5. It could be one day. I can't do that anymore because it's so goddamn late in the year. Really, if I wanted to give this record 5 stars, it would have to be earlier on in the year, just so I don't snuff out anything I've already actually put into my year-end list. That doesn't mean that this isn't going to be on it, because this is a 4.5 star record all the way. It's stanky, it's dark, it's gnarly, it's evil. I love atonal harmonies and dissonance and chugging, and like I said, this is just a smorgasbord of everything that I love about death metal smushed into one band. It's heavier than shit. There wasn't a single time on this record where I wasn't stank-faced or bobbing my head or just going, oh my god. Transitions are awesome, the vocals are awesome, the drum work fucking rules, the riffs are amazing. It slithers, it crawls, it's slimy, it's dark, it's nasty, it's musty, it's beautiful. Dense layering, big fat drums, filthy, gross, snarling guitars. In the end, if you're fans of bands like Dysgnostic, Divino Verdict, Cruciamenum, Dead Congregation, Nightmarer, Murder Made God, or even bands like Ulcerate, you're probably really going to dig this. Please do yourself a favor and check it out.
I am also at 4.5. That's problematic this time of year, but here we are. Yeah, this one could be a late entry. I mean, if not, I still want to rate it high because that is exactly how I feel about it. I don't know if this is better than the first one, but it is at least on par with that album, and that album was absolutely amazing. This is dense, it's dark, it feels almost alive and conscious at times, which is really unsettling. Great balance of just these weird, again, lurching, bending, slithering riffs, and just blunt force trauma chugging. It's darker than hell. The songs are long but really well composed, like great dynamics throughout, even though they repeat a lot of like, you know, similar stuff. They just find a way to like season it ever so slightly just to make it a little bit different. Good combination of haunting and just brutal. That's kind of the best way to describe it, and it's memorable for both. Like you'll remember listening to this album for how sonically punishing it is, but you'll also remember just the creepy fucking feelings and just the really intricate riffs on here. Again, if you're a big fan of, I mean, Dead Congregation, Immolation, I totally agree with, Ulcerate as well. I'd even throw in a band we just went over, Phobocosm. Very similar in terms of the overall style. If you like your death metal suffocating, dark, blackened, and possibly actively trying to end the world with their sound, then check this album out. I'm going to order a copy not too long after we shut this camera off. So, if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. We also have memberships. They're only 99 cents. Our loan perk is doing a members-only live stream, which we will be doing one probably Wednesday nights. I will let you guys know what time. We'll put up a little post. Not sure what we're going to talk about, but I'm never sure what we're going to talk about. We just end up talking about things. And generally, that gets dumb in a hurry. Either way, membership is the main way to support the channel. If you'd like to join up, there is a join button down below. You just have to reach down there into the darkness, and hopefully something doesn't reach back and touch you. And just hit that join button. Also, it probably has teeth.
And if you don't choose to stick your hand into the darkened abyss to touch whatever is down there, I get it. I wouldn't necessarily do that either, although I might. Who knows?
I've done it.
It depends on what mood I'm in. I've definitely reached my hand into some dark places. Anyway, if you choose not to do that, it's cool. We do tons of non-members only things, non-members only live streams, which I guarantee will get dumb in a hurry real quick. So if you're thinking you're going to miss out on the dumbness of Thralls of Metal, you're not. Album reviews, discography rankings, tons of discussion forums, collection updates, all metal all the time. It's what we do here at Thralls of Metal because of you guys. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to be a part of things. We're about to celebrate 7 years here at the channel, which is fucking insane. I didn't think it would last this long, nor did I think it would continue to gain popularity, but it has, and it's all because of you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys absolutely rule. Tons of content coming your way. So one more big thank you because you guys are awesome, and we will catch you later.